everyone. Welcome everyone to our webinar. While people are arriving, we're just going to introduce ourselves. So presenting today, we have Lucy and Isaac and myself. Lucy, why don't you start us off, introduce yourself, your role, where you're based, and plans for the weekend.
Thanks, Paul. Hi, everyone. So I'm Lucy. I'm Director of Client Success here at Student Crowd. I work with the team to help all of our wonderful partners get the most value from our products and services. I'm based in a little village called Franschhoek, just outside of Cape Town. And this weekend, we'll likely be trying to make the most of the last of the sunny weather here because we're heading into winter. Isaac?
Hi, I'm Isaac. I'm the product owner of the website, of the student-facing website here at Student Crowd. What does that mean? Not everyone understands it. It basically means I lead on the development of our student-facing products, one of which we're going to talk about a bit today. And this weekend, I'm sadly not in sunny Franschhoek in South Africa, Lucy. I live in Loughborough in the East Midlands, and I'm getting in touch with my crafty side this weekend. Me and my wife are going to a still life drawing evening. Yeah, not busted out any pencils since GCSE art, so we'll see how that goes.
Right. And finally, Paul, founder and CEO at Student Crowd. I live in Snowdonia, which is unusually warm, and we are planning to do a bit of paddleboarding with my daughters this weekend in a lake. The sea's still a little choppy, so we're heading to the lake. But yes, so the background to this call, hopefully everyone has joined now, is that everyone on this call is a Student Crowd partner, already benefiting from our enhanced profiles on Student Crowd. The purpose of this session is that we're introducing a new feature to streamline student booking journeys from our platform to yours. The aim is to better help students and to drive even more bookings for you this summer. The history of the enhanced profile dates back 11 years. So Student Crowd exists to help students to make the best decisions. And we primarily do this by firstly listing 100% of the options. So we list every university hall, every private property, including part nominated, and we're the only platform that does that, every single option for students. Secondly, it's verified student reviews. Again, we're the only platform to do this. We verify that students have an active university email address to combat fake and irrelevant reviews. And finally, it's unbiased algorithms. Our algorithm only has one purpose, and that's to help students make the best decision to match their needs with the best property and room. Providers simply can't pay to be at the top. And there's no other platform that is as committed to helping students to make decisions. And the results of that is that we've helped over 12 million students, a third of whom are international. And also that we're working with 66 PBSA operators with our enhanced profiles, which is obviously the vast majority of the sector. I'm actually going to attempt to share my screen and walk through an example, just for those that are perhaps slightly unfamiliar, but also we have a new look profile, which you may not have seen yet. Is that coming up for everyone so far?
Yep, looks great.
Starting with Google, and if you start searching for a property, this is a Unite building in Manchester, you can see that reviews is the most popular term after Bridgewater Heights. And typically, almost in every case, if you look for PBSA with the word reviews after it, you're going to find Student Crowd. So this is the new look enhanced profile. So you can see really everything's changed. This is actually a project that Isaac led, and with Lucy and her team as well. And yeah, you've got great imagery, really clear navigation at the top. Obviously, part of the enhanced profile product is this imagery, replying to reviews. It's also adding your best assets to the page. So here we've got a great video tour of the property, and we've got embedded content to help students understand more about the property, all part of the enhanced profile, and again, answering questions as well. All of this, we see that our operators are deriving the benefits of really managing their reputation and gaining a huge amount of value from doing so. And the second part of the value of this product is this visit accommodation call to action. Now, we've been tracking this for a number of years. It's been 11%, which we thought was quite incredible, that these pages are so relevant that students want to click through to the operator. This has now actually increased to 13% since we developed this new profile. And as you can see, there's a UTM tracked link, and because the students have looked at every property, they've read reviews, they've looked at all this information, our operators find that students convert very, very highly. It's the best converting platform for virtually every operator that we've spoken with. Now, the new feature that we're developing is to really fit alongside in a slightly different user experience. So we have a new optional call to action called Reserve a Room. Why do we need this option? It's been primarily driven by students. They told us that they don't want to go through a 4-hour booking process to ensure that they've got a room, often needing to wait for guarantors' permission, which can sometimes take several days to secure a room. What they've told us over the last couple of years is they want to be able to request a reservation, a little bit like Airbnb. So operators only pay once they have actually accepted a reservation, which is for a £50 fee. I'm going to invite the team, so starting with Isaac, to share the details. And I really want to just reassure you that we've received so much feedback from students and the sector to create this version 1 reservations feature ready for this summer. We've consulted with a number of providers, particularly the ones that have really come to us because they've also been aware that the innovation is required in this area. But yes, this for those that aren't aware of the feature, we're working with 66 partners, so that's quite a lot of feedback, but we really value yours. So please do input after this call and help us to shape the version 2 of this reservation feature. So I'm going to stop sharing and over to you, Isaac.
Thanks, Paul. I think Lucy's going to share some visuals for me. But just to stress again, as Paul said, we are aware that for some students who land on our profiles, they will be ready to just book and go through to your websites, provider sites, and go through your booking process. I suppose what we're really trying to do is capture those users who either aren't quite ready for that yet, or those who are on the fringe of even thinking about it and actually they see the option to reserve a room and we're giving it to them. So the hope is that this is very much an addition to our current offering rather than a full-on replacement. And to do that, we're trying to make it as frictionless as possible, which looks like these 4 steps. The student clicks reserve on a room on our enhanced profiles, enter a few key details, which will help you as the provider decide whether or not you can accept that student, accept that reservation. We'll then validate that reservation using email and phone number, which I'll show you in a minute. Then that's it, their request is submitted. And you'll notice this language around request, it is a request, and we're communicating that to the student. And you as the provider still have a huge amount of control in this situation of whether or not you accept that reservation. And I'll go on now to show you an example of what that journey looks like. So this is another example of one of our enhanced profiles for a hall. And I think, as Paul's already said, they're great decision-making tools for students. They're able to view review summaries of the different score breakdowns from reviews left by students. They can read individual reviews left by those students to understand the student experience in that building. It's really our bread and butter. They can see where the property is on our new profiles, navigate through to Q&A sections where they can see interactions between staff and individual students, which is great. And as I said, this isn't a replacement for our current offering, and we are still giving students the call to action to visit the provider website, as you can see here. These components will be throughout the page. So for students who are highly motivated and want to book directly with you immediately, they can still do that. But I suppose what we're trying to do is capture those other users. So you'll see at the bottom of the screen is this reserve a room call to action, which is always present. When that's clicked on, it'll take the student to the room section of the profile. And there we list under aggregated rooms for the tenancies available, the rooms in the building. And you'll see we show some details like the lengths available, the move-in dates available, and give the student the ability to filter and choose the room for them, which once they do, we display the tenancy options. They're aggregated, as well as some additional room information like the arrangement and the size. Then students can choose from the list of available tenancies which one's best for them, and we display any booking incentives that you might have to try and get that room filled. It's all about just giving the student all the information they need to get to that decision point. If you don't have any incentives on a tenancy, we obviously won't show them. And once they've selected the tenancy, they then go through to this details page. Now, we're trying to make this as frictionless as possible, but there is an element of collecting information. So what we're trying to do is collect just the fields you need as a provider to recognize this as a tentative booking. So we'll provide you with the tenancy details, which room they've selected, some personal information for that student, where they're from, which university they're attending, what academic year they're in, details like home address, should you choose to progress the booking, and any key special requests, like perhaps they want to be in a room with all female students or all first-year students. It's information that you as a provider need to know before you can accept or reject a reservation request. So all that information will be available. And then crucially, we validate the reservation request. And we do this in 2 steps, with an email address and with a phone number. So we use an email address, and I'm sure you've all filled in forms before, enter, and then we send an email with a 4-digit code. It's really just about giving you the confidence as a provider that these reservations have real students behind them, and that they're valuable and worth paying for. And the more security we can give you in that, the better. So that's what we're doing. As you can see at the bottom, we keep a reminder of which room that student is selecting, just so it's always there. And you can see here just validating a phone number as well. So we do both. And then before they submit their request, we have one final screen. This is all about communicating to the student what will happen next, and also what happens to their data. So we make it explicitly clear that we're sharing the basic information provided with you, the provider, so that you can know whether or not to progress the request. But we also state that if they accept the reservation, they might need to contact the student. So we just list your privacy policy there as a provider and make it clear that you will handle their data in line with your own privacy policy, and we will handle it in line with ours. And the user has to consent to this before completing their request. Now, it is a reservation, and each of you will have different processes for getting those students booked in. We recognise that it's not one size fits all. So Lucy will talk through this a bit later, but we give the student some information on your practices for getting students booked in, so they understand what's happening. And then that's it. We send them to a reservation status page, which they can revisit the room information, the tenancy information, see what happens next, and crucially, the status of their reservation. And we will email the student with any updates whenever that changes. At that point, it will be over to you, the provider, to decide whether or not you'd like to process that request. So Lucy, I think I'll hand over to you for that bit.
Thank you, Isaac. So I'm going to walk you through the operator experience and specifically what the process will look like for managing the incoming reservation requests. We have built this workflow based closely on feedback from PBSA operators, and the goal has been to make the system as simple and intuitive as possible. So a focus has been on ease of use, but also we really want to help you convert as many of the reservation requests as possible into confirmed bookings. So this is obviously the first version of the feature, and it has been designed to be as straightforward and effective as possible. It doesn't yet have any automation or advanced functionality. So for now, it is a manual system, but it is a really simple one, and we will continue to develop it based on feedback from operators. And I'm sure after this, you'll have lots of questions we're not going to be able to answer them all on this webinar, but the intention will be to arrange a follow-up call to go through all of the details, and answer any of the questions that you'll have. So we will be able to assign multiple staff members with access to manage the reservation requests. So the users would receive an email notification like this one every time a new reservation request is submitted, and they'll be able to follow a link through to our admin dashboard to manage those requests. So it's a really user-friendly interface, and many of your teams will actually be used to using it already from responding to reviews and questions. This overview view displays headline information about the reservation request, so which property it's for, the room type, the academic year, the price, the start date, and the status of that reservation request, and also when it was submitted. There's also multiple filters on this view to help you easily manage the reservation requests, and you'll be able to sort the information in each of the columns as well. And then if you click on show here through to the reservation request that you'd like to respond to, you'll be able to view all of the room details and study information for that reservation. So you'll be able to review all of this information, the university, the year of study, the specific room details, if there are any booking incentives, and then special requests. And at this point, none of the students' contact information or personal details would be viewable. But then you've got the option there to either approve or reject that reservation request. We are stipulating that all requests need to be responded to within 2 working days. And if not, that request will expire and the student will be notified. And this is important because it is only going to be possible for students to submit 1 reservation request at a time on the platform. So if you choose to approve or accept that reservation, that's when you'll be able to see all of the students' contact information. So their home address, their verified contact number, verified email address, date of birth, and in accepting the reservation, this is the point where you'll be accepting charge for it. And it will then be up to your teams to get in touch with the student to help them complete their booking. So the data points that we are going to be collecting from students during a reservation have been chosen based on what we know operators need to be able to treat the accepted reservation as a tentative booking. So our goal is to be able to provide you with all of the information that you need to enter the students' details into your system and to start that application process with them. And because operators all have slightly different SLAs, we aren't going to be setting any timeframes for any of the next steps. But what we have done, as Isaac chatted about earlier, is include lots of helpful information in the student experience. So part of the onboarding process would be to provide us with answers to a set of questions about your specific booking process. So things like, how long would my room be held should my reservation request be accepted? And when will I need to pay a deposit? And students will see all of this information before they even submit their reservation request, giving you the opportunity to provide them with helpful information about your unique booking process, set their expectations. And all of this is helping the whole process be as transparent and supportive as possible for students, which is really what we've designed it to be. So then if you choose to, we'll go back to the dashboard. If you choose to reject that reservation request, you will be presented with a number of reasons that you can select. So if the room is sold out, for example, or if the advertised price is incorrect, or if you can't meet that student's special requests, the student will receive an email notification to let them know exactly why their reservation request has been declined, and then they'll be able to go on and submit another one. And in the dashboard, all reservations, all expired, cancelled, approved reservations will be stored, so you're able to review that. And we'll be able to set up multiple levels of permission. So if property managers, for example, just wanted to manage the requests for their property, they can do that. But if you want central teams to be able to review all reservations, we can also set that up. So lastly, I just wanted to let you know that we'd be sending monthly reconciliation reports. So we'll be sharing the details of all of your accepted reservations. And we're also looking to really work closely with all of our partners to track the key metrics and understand conversion rates along the way. As I've said, this is the first iteration of it, of the new feature, and there will be more to come. And it's really crucial to us that we continue shaping it really around student behaviour and their needs, but also making sure that it's valuable, cost effective, and easy to manage for operators as well. So as part of the launch phase, we'd like to offer 10 free accepted reservations. We will be launching next week on Wednesday, the 21st of May, with about 10 operators so far. So if you've got, which I'm sure you do, have any questions about this, if you'd like a more detailed run through, if you've got feedback to share, or if you're interested in going ahead, we'd love to chat to you. So your dedicated partnership manager will be in touch after this. They'll share the slides as well, and they'll be able to guide you through all of the details and help you with the next steps as well, and to get your feedback. And that's it.
I think you're muted, Paul.
Thanks, Isaac. I was just saying thank you, Lucy and Isaac, for sharing all those details. I think what it's very fair to say what started as a simple premise to actually deliver something that works both for students and providers. There are a lot of details to share. I'm hopeful that we managed to answer some of your questions by going through that, but as Lucy shared, I'm sure you've got more questions. So please do book in that call with your partnership manager and ask all your questions and give us all the feedback that you can. Yeah, thanks for listening, thanks for attending, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.